namaste to the Naropa community on their 40th anniversary. Yeah. Allen Ginsberg convinced me to come to Naropa. And he went on and on me, and and I got all my troops gathered together. It was fun. We were all having just a ball. We hadn't been together for a long time. We were called by the Naropa community the Love and Lighters, and we were full of love and full of light. That was pretty sloppy concepts, but once I had Trungpa's students, I had to clean up my game. Yeah. It was a vibration that was very very intense, and they weren't going to have my soul stuff. And they wanted like that. I found that having Trungpa's students in my classes made my game much clearer to the point. I set it up so that it wasn't, I'm going to lecture on the Bhagavad Gita. And by then, I didn't lecture anymore. That's back at Harvard days. And the fact that we had music and we had a lot of us teaching assistants, and we had a lot of outreach, more flowing things. And I had to lecture. Yeah, the funny thing is, the lecture, I was going to prepare for the lecture in the desert. I was living in my school bus, and I would write the lectures, and then I would give it to the audience, who were jackrabbits. They were stopped and looked, and they were different from the Trungpa students. Students, they were like, there were tennis match, so they going like this. Trungpa here and over here, us. I developed my backhand. Many of the students were taking both courses, Trungpa's and my, in the evenings. What was sadhana? I mean, what were they to learn? Two different things, or one thing? I hadn't expected that I was going to teach alternately evenings, and Trungpa would teach alternate evenings, and that created a tennis match. We all got the Gita. We got the Gita inside of us. I know I did. I did. For me, that summer is sadhana. That summer at Naropa, for me, I had it scrunched my ego, let alone Trungpa. He does that. That's his way of teaching. And he was scrunching my ego. And I just couldn't find my soul because it was all so ego-y for me. And I did find my soul at the end of it. Trungpa and I had quite a dance before Naropa. I had heard that there was a Lama in Brooklyn, so I took the train. I missed supper. I was getting excited. I got there and there was a crowd of people. I waited and waited and waited and waited, and nothing had happened. About 9:30, it began. Nobody seemed to be, except me. I was agitated, but the others are just very waiting. At 9:30, Trungpa came in, and he looked kind of wild to me, and he got up on the stage and he proceeded to give absolutely clear lecture. I went up to him and I was holding my beads, and as I was talking to him, my beads slipped from my fingers, the floor, and he got them and handed them back to me. It was a certain gamesmanship, but pretty good. Pretty good. Well, it was a friendly dance. It was friendly as a certain distance we kept. I went up to visit with Mirabai and Krishna. They had a van, and we were laying in the van, and we were smoking and pretty good. And then a knock on the door. Trungpa wants to see Ram Dass. Fine. So I didn't even know I was known there politically, but I walked up to the main building, and I was introduced a small door. He's in there. And I went into a room. There was a desk, a chair behind the desk, and there was nothing else in the room. And he was sitting in the chair. And I stood in front of him, and he says, Ram Dass, we have to accept responsibility. Yeah. So with that, he dismissed me. Then I went over to the lecture he was going to give. And it was the lecture of Castaneda and Don Juan. And he was up with the chair, and everybody else was sitting on the floor. And he gave a very wonderful lecture. As the brain or questions of the brain or questions of psychedelics, he would defer to me. And I was in the back of the room unshaven and he would say, that question is difficult. I think Ram Dass would answer that. And then the next question would come, and he'd say, my, that's a difficult question. Ram Dass can answer that. And a fifth or sixth time, I shared with the audience, I think that Trungpa is Don Juan, and he has made me into the Castaneda. I got a little package in the mail, was a small endless knot, gold endless knot, and with a note from Trungpa saying, this will augur well for our work together in the future. Wow, that's interesting. Trungpa and I rarely met in the summer. Mainly, I heard by gossip about what he was saying about me from his lectures. And I don't know whether he is picking the gossip or not, because I said plenty about him. We're always friendly, and he was very captivating, and I was charismatic, and all yeah. I think that I felt he was outclassed me. I mean, he was trained in such a way in Tibet, and he was trained at Oxford. And poor me, I was trained in the Himalayas by Maharaj. The memories I have of that summer, not in Naropa, but in me. I had it turning around, looking at my mind, and my heart struggled in the ego fog. You know, I learned a lot. Learned a lot. I learned the Bhagavad Gita, and I learned where my ego was. Yeah. Dear Naropa beings, on your 40th anniversary, my message to you is stay in the present. Don't go into the past. Don't go into the future. Stay in the present. Yeah. And cultivate your hearts, the love in your life. If you're loving of Dharma, you're loving your schoolwork, you're loving yourself, and all the rest of the people in your life, in the middle of your chest, and call it your spiritual heart.